Alright, I'm going to take you a day in the life of this collision crap. Anyway, this is a brand new GM replacement bumper, and if you're looking at this and you see this here, it's because every bumper, like 7 out of the 10 times, there's going to be damage on it because they wrap them in that kind of crap, and the worst I've seen is like, these corners down here busted, dents in them, and one of them had like a crack in it. Whenever I get a bumper in, I wipe it with this stuff here. It's 846. It's a degreasing agent for plastics. It's really just rubbing alcohol. That's it. It's been sitting in the shop for a little bit, so it's got some dust on it. I'll come back after I wipe this down. I'm going to show you what to do with these fresh primer bumpers. Since this stuff evaporates fast, I like to use 2 rags. One to apply it, one to wipe it off. Sort of one section at a time. Wipe it off. Almost ready, so you can see there. Dirt. Just get the excess dirt off. And then stuff it dries. Alright, now this is what you do. When a bumper comes in even in primer, you've got to scuff it. Because why? If you leave it unscuffed and you go to paint it about a month, maybe even weeks time, the paint will lift and peel off. So it's got to be scuffed. And I've seen guys just go like that and say it's done. Well, with dust off, it's still pretty black. The paint isn't really going to stick to that. I like to actually work at it, and you got to make it nice and dull and get a good matte finish on it, because this is what the paint wants to bite to. Now you see that? That's what you want it to look like. Okay? If you're wondering what this red tape is for, down here it is textured. It stays black. So I'm trying to keep that off when I scuff it. When I go to paint, I'm going to put the fine line tape there, paper. So even in all the nooks and crannies like this, even though they're a pain in the ass to scuff, it's still got to be done. So I'll be back with this all scuffed. Now I've got the bumper off the car, and this would be a good time to do an estimate actually when the bumper is on it. Where's the obvious damage? There. You want to take it off and look behind it. Is the bumper reinforcement bent? There's a little crack in the foam, but it's not that major. I mean, this was a customer's car. It would get changed, but this is just a friend of mine. Well, actually, it's my parents, because I'm a stupid kid. This is my fault. But you know what? I'm fixing it. Anyway, I got the bumper off. The headlights come off pretty easy. There's these 2 pieces here. They slide up and come out, and only one plug holding on to them. And I love how this bumper was held on with 8 billion 7mm bolts, and it's original to do too. And what I'm going to do is, instead of, I don't know if GM did this or it's factory, they put speed nuts on this here. What I'm thinking of doing is replacing that with regular bolts. So maybe, because I don't really like speed nuts. I mean, they're good for pieces of trim, but for a bumper, oh, hell no. No, I won't do that. I'm going to come back, I'll have everything out of the way, and get to this mess. Alright? Alright, now this is ready to be sealed and painted. What I'm going to do is I'm going to wipe this down one more time with alcohol, and I'll tack it, and I'll be able to spray the sealer down, and I'll let the sealer dry, and I'll tack that off, and then spray the base, then the clear. So, look really nice when it's done. I'll come back when I go to lay down the sealer, show you how it looks afterward. And this is actually nice. I actually finished it off with some 1000, so it should be nicely filled in and all. There you go. Before, and you will see after when I am done. One other thing too, I'm going to give you a quick lesson on sealers and what they do. All they really do is provide uniform holdout of the undercoat of a finish. Now there's 3 colors we use here. It's white, gray, and black. Now, when you would use a sealer, you're using it to provide, like I said, provide holdout for the undercoat and the top coat. Now, you want to use the sealer that will help blend the base coat better. If it's a dark color, like a dark blue or a black or some purple, you're going to want to use something along the lines of a gray or a black. If you're doing something brighter and you want to make it pop, you use a white, you can use a gray. Gray is pretty much universal of it all. This is going to be a silver bumper, so I'm going to go ahead and use a gray sealer on it. So, just wanted to give you a quick lesson on that. And there's the bumper after coated sealer. It's gray. Looks pretty nice. I shot it with my gun, 1.2 fitting, with at a 25 psi. Came out pretty uniform. Just about ready for base. I'm gonna let it flash off for another few minutes, and I'll be able to spray my base coat on it. There you go, guys. Here it is after 2 coats of base. I'm gonna let it flash off for a little bit. Then I'm going to give it 2 to 3 coats of clear. Now I know you're looking at me and I'm doing this on the floor, and one thing that I have had problems with doing cut-ins and shit on the floor is dirt. Well, I'm going back to my old school roots, wet the floor down and leave the vent on. It sucks most of the dirt out of the way and keeps it out of the way. I'm hoping that this will look great when it's done and, match. That's one thing that can't be guaranteed is the bumper will match. I mean, if I could have and I had the time to do this, I would fucking blend the hood and the fenders with it. But I'm not. So, it's just the bumper right now. Looks good. Wait a little bit longer. Done. Can't wait. See how it looks with the clear coat on it. Look awesome. I don't see any dirt or trash in the base. Maybe just a little bit. Like there's one nib right there. So another one right there. No, you can't see. You can see that one in the light. That little piece there. So, there we go. I'll be back after it's done. Cleared and all. Here's the bumper after 2 coats of clear. Still looking a little dry in some spots, so I'm gonna let it flash off again for another, a couple minutes, and then I am going to hit it again with one last coat. So, not much of a painter. Yeah, this is probably my second bumper job, second or third, I don't know, can't remember. So long since I did the last ones. But you know what? I'm proud of it. Looks nice. See the gloss. You see where it's still dry. So I'm gonna let it sit, flash off, and then come back and put one more coat down. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Perfection at its best. It's still a little rough. It's gonna need it. It's got some trash in it. It's gonna need a cut and buff. The rest of it looks friggin' beautiful. Beautiful. You can see my reflection in it. It looks nice. I'm going to put this in the booth now and let it bake for an hour. Now, I would have did this in the spray booth, but the, how can I say this without being explicit? The rude, the selfish other worker here left the job in here, and I told him the night before that I'd like to use a spray booth. And I can't move the car because of the reason why. I don't know how to drive stick shift. Yeah, who cares? I'm letting you know. So I had to do it out here, but there's enough room still to fit this bumper in there, and I could set it on bake and let it sit. I made this video today to show you all, never underestimate the young guy. And I figured I'd show you what it looks like all put together. Now, I was worried about the color match. And I can tell you, to me, it looks brighter. I bet you if I give this a nice buff with some, cut and buff with some 3000, it'll look nice. So I'm going to let this sit a week. Then I'll come back and buff it. Because there's still some trash and shit in here that I want to get rid of. So, plus it would be nice to get rid of that scratch there. So here with some 2500, 3000, level it. Shut the hood and see how it looks like that. Now I took out this bumper myself. I prepped the bumper myself. I painted the bumper myself. Put it back together myself. There you go, guys. Let's see what time. 7:30 on a Saturday night. I'm going home. Later.